The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of the staff or management of Visionary-related entertainment.
Aloha and welcome to Maui Nonprofit Notes, where you will find us talking story with Maui's nonprofit executive directors and their staff to find out how they're working to support those with needs within our community. Maui Nonprofit Notes is generously sponsored by Pacific Source. If you're building or remodeling a home, please stop by Pacific Source's cabinet and appliance showroom located in the Waikapu Bayshard. I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific, and your host for Maui Nonprofit Notes. Each week during this hour, we share some of the experiences of our nonprofit agencies and just how they're changing lives, changing communities, and creating miracles of hope for those with needs. Today, first we're going to visit with Lucy Feinberg, are you the Executive Director?
I'm the Maui Regional Director.
There you go. That sounds more impressive. Maui Regional Director. Okay, I like that. Of PACT, that's Parents and Children Together. Hi.
Hi, Susie.
It's been a while.
Yes, a couple of years now. I think.
My goodness, you're too busy.
You can say that again.
Oh my goodness, the problem just keeps, is it growing?
Well, definitely our community has got a lot of challenges, and you know from just talking to folks in the neighborhoods that we've always got some issues that are presenting, and sometimes very complex ones, and that's what we're here for.
Now, Parents and Children Together started...
Parents and Children Together started in 1968 on Oahu, and it has a wonderful history. It provides services in a number of different areas. First of all, early childhood development, child abuse and neglect prevention and intervention, domestic violence intervention and treatment and prevention, mental health support, and community building and economic development. Those are the main areas that we serve.
Wow, that's quite a spectrum.
Yes.
And so, but now on Maui...
On Maui, our programs are, we have basically 4 programs. We have the MST program, which provides services to families where there are problems within the family having to do with mental health issues with their adolescent child. It's a unique program because we're able to go into the home and just work with 5 families at a time, so that it's very intensive. We don't just work with the family, we work with the entire community and try to build a support network for the children. Our referrals come from the Department of Health, Child and Adolescent Mental Health, here the Maui Family Guidance Center. And the goals are to keep the children safe and in the home, have their psychological needs met, keep them in school and successful school completion, and out of the criminal justice system, or if they are already in it, to try to have them complete successfully. So that's our MST program.
And let's take a little bit about each one as we go through it. Now, you talk about 5 children at one time.
5 families.
5 families, okay. Now, in the families, there may be more than one child with this issue?
Well, one is referred to us,
okay,
although we can work with the entire family.
Is that the optimum?
We definitely need to work with the parents. Our work is really to get the parents to understand what it means, their responsibilities, we all know that teenagers are difficult and at the best of circumstances. So to understand how to help their teen so that they can succeed, complete school, stay in the home, and have a healthy life ahead.
So some of the issues that lead to needing this type of service, are we talking about like bullying? Is that fall into this category?
There's a number of pathways that might bring a youth into the MST program. first of all, there has to be some sort of emotional component to it, that they are having some issues, and that's how they get referred to the Department of Health, Child and Adolescent Mental Health. What we want is to try to get those children identified early. Primarily, they're identified through the Department of Education, but oftentimes they are not identified until there's a really serious problem. And we really need the teachers and all the support staff in the schools to be aware of issues and to try to get the youth help and the family before it becomes a crisis.
And this is sparked by some incident that might happen at school or
yes.
And what age group?
11 through 17.
11 through 17, okay.
And there could be entering the juvenile justice system, and then we can get referrals through the POs. They can see that there's an emotional issue connected to some of their acting out, and to try to get them over to get intervention before, again, it gets too advanced. And some that never get noticed, then they wait till they're adults, and of course the problems get even worse then.
Is this are the children that you're going to be working with, are they the instigators of issues, or are they getting the butt end of the?
I never want to just specify one way or the other.
But either way,
let's just say they've been identified as having a special needs in areas of mental health.
Okay.
And juvenile justice.
Okay. That opens the door to the whole range.
Yes.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. Anything else on the MST?
I think that's the program in a nutshell. They do have to be referred by the Family Guidance Center. So although parents can call us and talk to us about their concerns, we will then refer them to the Family Guidance Center.
I see. Is there, because you only work with 5 families at a time, is there somewhere else?
Well, each therapist works with 5 families, and we have a staff of 5, and we have one person who's on Molokai, so she covers the island of Molokai. She lives there, and yet she comes for supervision to Maui. The other staff are on Maui.
Okay, now we're talking about helping people, because we've got 6 people out there working with 5 people each.
Each therapist, yes.
5 families each, 30 families. That starts to count.
Yes, it does.
Okay, I was a little concerned about that.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no. That's how we learn, right? We got to ask the questions. Okay, so then the next program that you've got.
So our next program we could talk about is Family Strengthening Service, and that's Ulupono, which means to thrive. And the families that we work with there are referred from child welfare intake or child welfare services. And these are families where there are concerns having to do with child abuse and neglect. However, they don't rise to the level where the Department of Human Services feels they need to take case management over and handle it within the department. So they send it to us, and then our staff go out to the family homes where we believe the families are most comfortable, and the families can get services in terms of parenting, resources, because sometimes there are issues where they don't know how to parent. Their parenting is just not optimum. Even they are aware of that. So we provide them with a whole curriculum for understanding child development, how to work with children of different ages, and anything else that can help stabilize the home so they don't have to become a CPS case.
CPS being? Child
Protective Services.
Okay. So now this is a parenting issue.
It is. It is about parenting, improving parenting, strengthening parenting, and that's why it is called family strengthening.
Right.
Because the parents have some level of skill. They just need to be, certain areas they need more information about it. And again, this service, we can't just take people who may call us for parenting for this. They have to go through, it has to go through child welfare intake or the DHS themselves.
I see. Interesting. So oftentimes we hear people say, if kids only came with books,
That's
or
so
manuals
true.
or something, right?
Instructions.
Instruction manuals.
Yes, yes.
But they don't. And so you take a level of what you learned in your growing up years and you move it forward. But you put it into today's world where things are so different. I mean, I don't think there's a generation out there that's got things so different than this one does from the previous generation.
Absolutely true.
Between the electronics
Yeah.
and the social medias and the just the whole realm of things that can send people off track.
Yes, there's so many challenges. And we find that we work with them for up to 6 months, and then they're discharged. And many of them have expressed how helpful the service was and how much they learned, and they feel more competent as parents as a result.
When they come into this program, are they pretty much do they pretty much understand that they need help, the parents, or is it really a hard thing to try to convince them that they could do it right if only they knew what right was?
That's an interesting question. I think that some of them are more aware that things are not going well at home, and others may not be. May not understand the signs to look for that. Things could be better. Maybe they just don't realize it, possibly because of how they were raised themselves and what they've taken for granted.
Is there an additional strain? I mean, we talk so often about how people in Hawaii have to work 2 or 3 jobs to just be able to live. Obviously, taking time away from the family setting. Does that give people a chance to ignore the signs?
I think that's well put. There's so many pressures on the family. By the time both the parents come home and pick up their child, possibly from the after-school program, and then make dinner, and there's just not enough time in the day for that interaction and for healthy interaction. So that is definitely one of the challenges.
And so at some point you say, well, we can do that next week, or we can do that next month, or you just keep putting it off. Next thing you know, it's 3 years later. And the issue has probably escalated. This is not the kind of thing that's going to just disappear on you.
That's true.
It doesn't usually work itself out.
Sometimes it can, but oftentimes there is a need for outside intervention.
I see. Interesting. We like to compound our problems, don't we? And outside factors have a tendency to do that.
They can.
And help us run that time frame where, if we could do it today, we would, but we just can't. And it's a great excuse for putting off till tomorrow.
Our third program is the Lanai program, which is it's called LIS, but the initials don't really mean anything that you need to know, except for they are services on Lanai, and the services go they run the gamut from outreach, where someone can call us and talk to us about what's the phone number for food stamps or immigration. So they may just need a little bit of information to get hooked up with services. It also includes working with the similar program as Ulapono, the Family Strengthening, where we go out, the staff goes out to the home and provides education and intervention in the home. Again, not a CPS case, and also includes referrals directly from Child Welfare Service. So where there's a need, where the children have been found, where the families have had issues with child abuse and neglect, and that has been confirmed by the department, we go in and help to make the home a safer home. We also serve families where the children have been removed from the home on Lanai. And then we work with the foster parents, and we still work with the biological parents for a plan, if it is reunification, to try to make that successful. And in some cases, the children are in guardianship, and we can still work with the children there. So that's one of our programs on Lanai, and we also have the Domestic Violence Intervention Program. I'll tell you about that.
Okay, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
Okay, thanks.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in Central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at pactsource.com.
And we are back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes, the weekly radio show where we talk story with our Maui Nonprofit Executive Directors and their staff to find out what they're doing to support the folks in our community and the needs that they have. And right now we're talking with Lucy Feinberg, who's the Maui Regional Director, hello, for PACT, which is Parents and Children Together. I love that name. Because we don't often think of the total unit. There's so many programs out there where you work with one person in the family or another, but this one, the whole point is to try to keep it together.
Yes, and safely.
Right.
And so that brings me to our fourth program,
Okay.
which is our Family Peace Center. And Family Peace Center is both on Maui and Lanai. And in that program, we work with the family in different sections. We have a batterers intervention program where we work with both female and male offenders, and we provide a curriculum to help them change beliefs about whether violence in the family is acceptable or not acceptable. So that's with the batterers intervention. We focus on safety and accountability, and that's crucial. We work with adults and also with intimate partners and non-intimate. We also have an adolescent program, which we call NAOPO, and we work with youth referred both from the community. Anyone can call us about that, and I should say anyone can call us about any of these parts of our Family Peace Center. And I'll say our phone number, which is 244-2330. So our adolescent program, we work with youth where they have problems expressing their anger and other emotions. And it can really be in any area where that is existing, and a parent can call us and they can get their youth, their child into the program, and there's no cost for that because the judiciary will cover that cost. So that's really wonderful, and we try to get the youth in before there's a crisis.
They don't have to be recommended by anybody.
They don't. That's one of the joys of that program.
Wow.
Any parent can call. If a teacher was concerned, of course, they talk to the parent and let them know. We have various types of programs: 1 day, 4 week, 10 weeks. So it runs the gamut that way. With our batterers, we again can provide services on Maui and Lanai. The program is funded both by the Judiciary, Second Circuit, and the Department of Human Services. So we're very appreciative of that funding. We also have a unit called Pu'uhonua, which means place of safety, and that's where we work with victim survivors of domestic violence. And again, anyone can call any concerns they may have about their safety. They don't have to wait till they feel they're in crisis. For that part of our program, we provide support for completing temporary restraining orders. So, and there's no cost for that. So we work with the person who's concerned about her or his safety and help them complete the paperwork for the court, and then we accompany them to court. So we are really trying to keep them safe. We provide resources for them, and we also provide resources for the offenders wherever we can to help them to change their belief system. We also work with children, specifically on Lanai, where they've been exposed to violence. And on Lanai, we have a very special program. We have a contract with Lanai Arts Center. And the therapy that we have a psychologist over there contracted with us, and she does that therapy right at the Arts Center.
Interesting.
And that is very unique way to handle this. So often with young children, they can't really express themselves with words the way adults sometimes can. And so that's Lanai, that's what we do there. And that's just in its first year. Our programs for Maui have been in existence since almost 20 years for some of them, and 15 years for others. So we've been here and doing this work for quite a long time.
Yeah, you have. You're kind of an understated organization, I think. You're just doing your thing.
Well, I've talked to a lot of people about that, and the fact is, if they haven't had an opportunity to use our services, it's not like the food bank where many people know about it, or others like that.
Right.
But they generally need to know somebody who's come here and gotten services, and then that's how we get the word out also, plus this wonderful community outreach opportunity.
Yeah. I guess the thing that kind of intrigues me is that while you do have some programs that people have to be referred to you to use, there are those that anyone can call you and state something that's happening, whether it's next door, in the family, the extended family, whatever the case might be, and you're able to assist in some form, or at least find out more information so that you know whether it's something you can help them with or refer them to someone else.
That is so crucial. It is very important for people in the community to understand that there is a role that the community has to play in ending domestic violence. And sometimes it's as simple as a phone call. If you hear something going on in your neighborhood that concerns you, your neighbors, a lot of yelling, sometimes things are being broken, there's a number of ways that you can help a person just by letting them know that you are there to listen and that you're not there to pass judgment. What they do is up to them. And that's how our counselors approach it also. We don't tell people you need to do this or that. We talk to them and find out what their needs are and then try to help them to resolve the issues they face.
So do people tend to have what they consider to be a legitimate reason for their actions?
Well,
is that a really tough question?
As far as domestic violence?
Yeah.
Humans are able to rationalize anything, as you well know when you read reports in the newspaper. But what we say is there's no excuse for domestic violence. A very good judge on Maui once said that we should look at domestic violence as we once looked at cannibalism, that it is something that existed but it no longer exists, and that's where we can go with domestic violence, because truly there's no reason to hurt someone, and what we end up doing is hurting people that we say we love, and we may believe we love them, but we don't know how, or our beliefs don't take us to a place where we can get help in problem solving without it getting into a crisis.
That's a very interesting statement. I like that one. Hopefully someday we can say that. It's I guess I look at it and I go back to the common decency, or that's the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do.
Well, I think you're talking about respect.
There you go.
And we do in our Kuleana program, which means responsibility, that's for our offenders, we talk about basic respect. That's part of our value. And if we did live that way, it would not even be a choice. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't. And it starts, of course, with self-respect and moves on from there. So whatever we do with our coworkers, that's another another area where sometimes you may see something in the workplace, but no one knows what to say to the person to help them. We're learning what to do. Even our physical and mental health facilities often don't know how to broach the subject, but we have to all learn. If we don't know, PACT is willing to come to your organization and talk to you more about how to talk to your staff about this, how to identify concerns before it gets to be a crisis.
So all of these actions actually start with ourselves and how we feel about ourselves.
Definitely. That's definitely true.
And it's probably overused, but if we don't love ourselves first.
It's a cliche, but it's one that really does help. It does make a difference, and people can look at that. And so we work with our clients with respect. We expect them to respect each other and respect us, but we constantly model it, and that's one reason why we have both male and female group facilitators, because we're modeling that partnership. And we encourage people to call us. Don't wait till there's a problem, 244-2330. We try to reduce any shame involved and just move on to let's see what we can do to make your life happier.
There we go. Boy, what a target to strive for. Huh?
That's right.
A little bit of happiness out there once in a while would go a long way.
That's for sure.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Lucy, for being with us. It's the fastest half hour in the radio, I think.
Thank you very much, Susie.
And we need to have you back more often than every 2 years.
I will plan on it. I'll put it on my calendar.
There you go. Thank you so much. And for everyone out there, again, their phone number for PACT, that's Parents and Children Together, 244-2330. And if you've heard anything in this last half hour that kind of hits home, or that maybe there's something going on that you think fits in one of these categories, give that number a call and talk to Lucy and her staff, and see if maybe you can help someone get started back on the right track.